Good morning, Winter Wonderland. Snow falling across the country, nearly a foot in parts of central Indiana. This morning, a look at how people are digging out and an update on the road conditions.
Plus, vaccinations halted, the snow forcing closures at vaccination sites around the U.S., and how it's impacting efforts to slow the spread of COVID-19, and how you can reschedule your appointment here in Indiana.
And it's getting hot in here, at least compared to what we've had this week. Temperatures expected to rise, making way for a good weekend. Get the coffee ready and open up those eyes. You're waking up with Cardinal weather.
From Ball State Unified Media, you're waking up with Cardinal weather, live from the Ball State Weather Center.
It is not swimsuit weather just yet. It's still cold out there. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with us. Look who's joining us this morning. Our friend Anna Chalker from our sister show, Newslink Indiana, joining me this week. Nice to have you here.
Thanks. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, we're taking you from the night side, bringing you to the morning. So yes. One dark to another dark. Yes. How are you coping with the early morning wake-up call?
It wasn't that hard. I'm a morning person, so that helped a lot. I mean, I'm not very good at going to bed at a very reasonable time, but getting up in the morning was super easy for me this morning.
I understand. I know you did yawn a little bit. Got to call you out on that. But, hey, we're going to get through it together. And, we've had to get through this weather together. Yes. It's been a bit crazy this week. Morgan Taylor, she's tracking it all for us. She's got a first check of that local weather. Good morning, Morgan.
Hello, good morning, everyone. You may have noticed this morning it's foggy out there. As we look at the fog tracker here this morning, notice some light to moderate fog across much of our viewing area this morning, impacting some visibility out there. So be careful out on the roads and for that morning commute this morning. Radar this morning showing some passing clouds moving through the area accompanying that fog. So overall, very foggy morning and cloudy as well. Temperatures currently in the teens, around 13 degrees, west-northwest wind around 5 miles per hour. Also, conditions feeling as if they are 5 degrees outside with that wind chill value around 5 degrees in Muncie. Overall, single-digit wind chill values as well. So I'll be tracking weekend precipitation as well as weekend cold and some warmer temperatures on the way.
All right, thank you, Morgan. And we're getting a much-needed break from the snow today.
Yeah, we really need it. The impact of all of it, though, is still around, especially on the roadways. We want to take you back now to Monday. Here's a look at some of the road conditions from and around Fort Wayne. Again, that was on Monday. That came after 10 inches of snow fell, and Everett County at the time in Indiana was under some type of travel advisory. Delaware County was under a travel watch, meaning travel was only recommended for essential employees and emergency management. It has now lowered to a travel advisory. That means that some roads are still dangerous, so you definitely want to take it slow out there.
Yes, and the snow that fell yesterday didn't help with the already deteriorated road conditions. Maddie Johnson has a live look on McKinley Avenue this morning. How's it looking, Maddie?
Good morning. Unlike the roads up in Fort Wayne, we are seeing conditions on the roads right now. Very much a different story from what we were seeing earlier this week. Taking a look out here at the roads right now, you can see they are still patchy in spots. A lot of the snow on the edges. However, roads are not as snow covered as they were on Tuesday. Sidewalks are mostly clear. We did see about an inch or two of snow yesterday. However, crews here on campus have been plowing and salting the roads and the sidewalks to make that morning commute a little bit easier. Now, Delaware County has been downgraded from a travel watch to a travel advisory. So while that snow has ended for the week, impacts to travel have not. Make sure you are careful on your morning commute to work or school this morning, as there could be slick spots as the roads did refreeze as we got down to the single digits last night. Now, as Morgan did mention, also we are still seeing patchy fog out there. Now, the sun has come up here on Ball State's campus, so we are seeing that fog start to melt. Now, as we head into the weekend, however, make sure you are prepared for those road conditions to change, as we will be seeing some more wintry weather this weekend.
Thank you, Maddie. And Indiana wasn't the only place feeling the impacts of the weather this week.
Poor Maddie. She needs to get inside and get warm. We could see her breath. And as Anna mentioned, a lot of places dealing with the cold weather and the snow. More than 3/4 of the country covered in snow. Travel restrictions and advisories popping up all over the place. Frigid cold and windy conditions have caused many power outages to several communities. Reed Binion on the scene for us this morning.
We ask the public to help us by keeping travel to a minimum. Don't travel at all if it can be avoided.
Cities, towns, and entire states across the nation still reeling from one deadly and destructive winter blast, now getting hit with another icy behemoth. Freezing temperatures leading to waterline ruptures in some places, causing streets to flood and freeze over. The merciless, frigid 1-2 punch, leaving tens of millions of Americans under winter storm warnings or watches, including many across the South. Communities not accustomed to such bone-chilling cold.
When we went into the store, they barely had anything. There was barely any food there. So it's just like getting real creative.
In Texas, over 3 million homes and businesses had no power as of Tuesday evening, prompting the governor to sharply criticize the company that runs much of the electric grid.
I think what has happened here is a response that kept the grid from collapsing, that kept us from going into a blackout condition. And certainly, we need to look at what has happened here once we get everybody back online.
The deep freeze broadening its impact, drawing winter storm advisories from Oklahoma to New England. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
One of the hardest hit places from the storms this week was Texas. Over 2 million people in the state are left without power as below freezing temperatures continue. Residents in Galveston, Texas are having trouble getting food, water, and fuel due to the outages. Many homes on the island near Houston either have no water or are under a boil advisory. Hundreds waited in line for a 4-bottle allowance at the distribution site Wednesday. Shelves are bare of meat and other food items. Long lines have formed at gas stations as people look for fuel. Luckily, a warm-up is coming, but many have to endure a few more cold nights without heat. Austin, Texas Mayor Steve Alder spoke about his frustration.
We started out with COVID, which is obviously as much challenge as anybody should take. Layer on top of that snow and ice, 18 degrees below zero for sustained time. No one here is used to that. And then you add on that top of that power outages and people don't have heat. And now we're adding on top of that water issues. It is too much to ask of anybody. People are angry and confused and frustrated, and I am too.
And let's go to Washington now, shall we? In a press conference, White House officials talking about the power outages across Texas and how they plan to respond. Take a listen.
I will say that there has been some inaccurate accusations out there. I'm not sure if former Secretary Perry made these, but that it was that suggested that renewables caused failures in Texas's power grid. And actually, numerous reports have actually shown the contrary, that it was failures in coal and natural gas that contributed to the state's power shortages. And officials at the Electric Reliability Council of Texas, which operates the state's power grid, have gone so far as to say that failures in wind and solar were the least significant factors in the blackout.
Now, people aren't the only things having issues down in Texas. Thousands of sea turtles are being saved from the winter weather in Texas. Texas Game Warden shared this picture on Twitter Tuesday. They say their group rescued about 140 sea turtles from the Brownsville Ship Channel and surrounding bays. According to the state's Parks and Wildlife Department, these sea turtles are unable to swim in waters that are too cold. The turtles are being moved to a warmer area. Another group called Sea Turtle Incorporated has rescued over 3,000 turtles, according to the New York Times. Sea Turtle Incorporated is a nonprofit group in South Padre Island, Texas, that is helping keep the turtles safe until they can return to the water.
While most of the country saw winter weather this week, North Carolina was hit with a deadly tornado. One furry friend, though, lucky to be alive this morning. This Yorkshire Terrier, so cute right there, named Penny, lives in the coastal community of Brunswick. That's just south of Wilmington. Penny was ripped from her home during the tornado Tuesday. Brittany Memory, who's Penny's owner, says the twisters sounded like a freight train. Memory grabbed her son and ran into the closet when she heard the tornado, leaving Penny behind.
I looked and I didn't have time. If I'd have waited even a second, me and my son would have been out the back door, and I didn't have time to grab Penny, and she went flying with you can see our mattress. I actually had a headboard, sheets, covers, all of that good stuff that went flying out with her. She was just bundled up in it. Once it was over, she was actually missing for a few hours.
So happy Penny is doing well, and by the way, we're hoping that the people there are able to clean up really quickly. Of course, though, we've got much more ahead right here on Waking Up with Cardinal Weather. The weather impacting the fight against COVID-19, how vaccination efforts are slowing, and what to do if you're impacted.
That's after your weather now.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome back. 8:10 here on your Friday morning. You're looking live right now across campus. Of course, a lot of snow out there. People are digging out. I know we'll have another check of that local and national forecast coming up here in just a bit. And of course, we know how the winter weather has affected many communities this week, including Muncie. You know, a lot of people, again, they're having to dig out. Classes canceled at one point this week. And you know what? It's also impacting the COVID-19 response. Reed Binion is back and tells us how it's taking a toll on the fight against the pandemic.
The merciless winter blast ravaging much of the nation is also hindering the fight against the coronavirus. The extreme weather colliding with the ongoing public health crisis, hampering vaccination efforts.
The weather's having an impact. It's having an impact on distribution and deliveries.
Officials forced to temporarily close vaccination sites in some areas, as the federal government warns of widespread delays in shipments. It comes as Biden administration officials stressed that reopening more schools doesn't hinge on teacher vaccinations. Dr. Anthony Fauci at a White House briefing Wednesday.
Having to get every teacher vaccinated before you can really open schools and get children back to schools, that really is rather impractical.
Officials also addressing concern about the spread of more contagious variants.
As of yesterday, we have confirmed 1,277 cases of the B.1.1.7 variant across 42 states.
New studies published this week suggest that the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines can protect against new coronavirus variants, including one first seen in South Africa. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
And back here in Indiana, we've got some really important information that you really need to pay attention to. You might know that dozens of vaccine clinics had to close this week because of the weather. The Indiana State Department of Health says that more than 70 vaccination sites were forced to close temporarily. ISDH says anyone who had an appointment during the closures can reschedule. Here's what you need to know about that. Officials urge anyone who needs help to give them a call. You can call them at 211. You can also reach out to them by email. If you need some help finding those links, we've got them online for you at ballstatedaily.com. Anna?
There's some good news Reed just touched on. 2 vaccines appear to protect against the new COVID-19 variants. A study in the New England Journal of Medicine says the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine seems to protect against some form of the variants. This includes the first one reported in South Africa. Researchers created versions of the virus to study them by using blood samples of people who have already had both vaccine doses. The virus was neutralized even though the blood samples with variants had less antibody activity. Another study recently done by the National Institutes of Health saw Moderna's vaccine also work effectively against the variants.
The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says the COVID-19 variant first identified in the UK could become the dominant strain in America by March. The agency released 2 new reports warning about a rapid rise in coronavirus cases due to the variants. Another report shows a variant first identified in South Africa coincided with a rapid rise of cases in Zambia. Health officials say the possibility of a similar experience in the U.S. is a real threat. They say people really need to stay vigilant to reduce the transmission of COVID-19 variants.
The Biden administration announced a $1.6 billion federal investment to help with coronavirus testing. A White House COVID-19 testing coordinator said the money is needed to turn the tide of the pandemic, but Congress still needs to act.
To be clear, these resources are a significant help in the short term, but they are far from what's necessary to meet the need for testing in communities across the country. They are merely a bridge until Congress passes the American Rescue Plan to fully expand testing and ensure that any American can get a test when they need one.
Officials outlined 3 key areas for the money: $650 million for testing for schools and undeserved populations, $815 million for domestic manufacturing of testing supplies, and nearly $200 million toward genome sequencing. Officials said genomic sequencing will help to quickly identify variants soon and help efforts to stop the spread.
And with everything happening, let's be real, we all need a vacation, and if you're looking to get away for a while, it won't be on a cruise, and it will be even longer before the next Norwegian ship leaves port. The Norwegian Cruise Line says its suspension of cruises will last through the end of May before the company's statement. All cruises were canceled through April 30th. The company says it will continue to work with the government and public health officials to protect people. This change also applies to sister lines Oceania and Regent 7 Seas. 8:15 here on your Friday morning. Like we said, we all need a vacation.
Yes,
Let's be real.
yes.
But if you're traveling to other parts of the country, you're going to want to pay attention.
Yes.
Yeah, because, you know, it's cold.
Yeah.
It's snowy.
It's
down south. It's probably a lot better. Hope Kleitch, good morning to you with a check of that national weather.
Yeah, good morning, guys. It is cold across the nation as we take a look at those current temperatures. 13 degrees here in Muncie, 11 in Kansas City, Minneapolis at 4 degrees. Looking at those wind chills, it feels like -1 in Kansas City. Dallas and Fort Worth only at 6 degrees, what it feels like this morning. And today's highs not warming up quite much. 34 in Kansas City, 59 in Las Vegas, and look at Dallas's high, only of 39 degrees today, way below average. Now looking at that radar, we have a few systems here and there, and zooming over to our east coast, they have some rain and ice mixed with their storms, some snow up to our northeast. And as we look at our current watches and warnings, look at this down in Texas and Louisiana. They have a deep freeze this morning, meaning that temperatures are in the teens and single digits, making it feel real cold. Looking up to our northeast, they have some winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings down in Virginia. Going over to our northwest now, we see that they have some winter storm advisories and high wind warnings up there. And here in the Midwest, we're quiet, so that's a change for sure. And now looking at the next 6 to 10 days, above average precipitation and for the Midwest, and below average precipitation over for our West Coast. And now looking at the probability of temperatures, we have above average here for our neck of the woods, so that is great news for us as we have been sitting way below average. And up to our west, they are going to see below average temperatures for the next 6 to 10 days.
Yeah, it's really nice to see, that we've got warmer temperatures on the way, but I know obviously, really just a mixed bag across the country.
It really is, yes. I've never seen anything like it before. It's definitely something new to everyone, I think.
Yeah,
right now.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can get some better weather on the way.
Oh,
Hope.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And in just a moment, a new NASA mission. What scientists hope to discover on Mars?
Yeah, we've got your space headlines after a message from Mitz. Stay with us.
Riding the bus is an easy thing to do. Last year, we carried 60,000 riders from the Ball State area. 50,000 of those were students. Anywhere you want to go, Mitz will take you there.
Welcome back. The time is currently 8:18 and you're taking a live look at campus on this chilly and snowy morning. But time to take a little time to go over to space. NASA has done it. The space program has successfully landed its most sophisticated rover yet on Mars. This is an image from the landing. The Perseverance rover landed without help or intervention from NASA teams on Earth. Scientists say it was an incredibly difficult 7 minutes of terror. The rover had to slow from 12,000 miles per hour to 1 mile per hour in 7 minutes. Perseverance has been traveling through space since the end of July. It's part of a 2-year mission to look for signs of ancient life on the red planet. The rover will study the planet's climate and geology.
At 8:19 now, that was pretty cool. And by the way, I want to warn you before I read this story, yes, you're hearing all of this correctly. The human body may now be able to turn into a battery. Check this out. Researchers at the University of Colorado Boulder have created a wearable device. Yes, it looks funny. And guess what? It's powered by body heat. It uses thermoelectric generators that turn the body's internal temperature into electricity. The device can be worn as a ring or bracelet and is fully recyclable. Researchers believe it's so strong, it can power up your watch and maybe even a fitness tracker. They say it could be a cleaner option, and guess what? It could be on the market within 5 to 10 years. I have nothing to say. No words.
I know it wouldn't work for me because I'm cold all the time, so it may not be as effective on me. Maybe someone else.
Yeah, well, I know it's been cold out there, so I don't know necessarily if it would work on anyone, but hopefully we've got some warmer temperatures on the way. Morgan Taylor, Give us the good news. You got it, right?
Good morning. Yes, I actually do. We do have some warmer weather on the way heading this week, but right now conditions over the region pretty clear. There's some snow off to the north of us, but here in Muncie, the main impact at the moment is some fog as well as some passing clouds moving through the area. Notice on the fog tracker that there is a light to moderate fog moving through the area as well. Notice temperatures right now in the teens, 13 degrees in Muncie, overall single digits across the region. Now temperatures today look to warm up into the 20s, high of about 20 degrees, mostly cloudy skies for much of the day. Now this evening, conditions look to drop to around 2 degrees, those single digit temperatures. Very cold this evening, mostly cloudy conditions, a west-southwest wind around 5 to 10 miles per hour. So very cold. Now the main weather story doesn't impact us until Sunday. Notice those passing clouds and that band of snow off to the northeast of us, off in Portland around 3 p.m. And then Sunday at 6 p.m., notice that rain off in Anderson and some snow off to the northwest and rain off to the west. That's going to gradually start to push in, impacting us by Sunday evening. Notice all of that rain and snow icy mix moving into the area and staying into the area heading into Monday. With that, timing out those temperatures, those warmer temperatures on the way, looking at that precision cast temps. Notice highs in the 20s heading into Saturday, staying in the teens going into Sunday, but the warmth is on the way. Notice by Sunday, highs back in the 30s, around 36 degrees, and those temperatures look to stay in the 30s heading into next week as well. Overall, this weekend, temperatures staying in the 20s and 30s for Saturday, high of 25, partly cloudy skies in store, but Sunday, notice about that 80% chance for a snow shower or two to roll through the area, that rain-snow mix, high of about 36 degrees. And as we take a look at that mid-7-day forecast, notice that gradual trend in warmth as we head into next week. Best chance for precipitation is on Sunday and Monday. Overall, the warmth is coming, and it's great news. So no more freezing temperatures. The above freezing temperatures are on the way.
I got to give you a round of applause. All hail Morgan this morning, because that is some good weather, especially after the week we've had.
Yes, especially. I'm excited to see 40. I don't know the last time we've seen 40, and that's like my favorite number.
It's definitely been a while.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, we love the warm weather. The snow, it'll be melting, it'll be going away, and of course, sunshine. I don't like the snow that could be coming, so of course, we'll continue to keep an eye on it for you. Morgan, thank you so much.
Still ahead, this week's top story in your Cardinal Weather News Minute.
Yeah, we're talking about how Bridges Community Services is recovering after someone broke out a window on its building, plus an update on this year's student government election cycle. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Time to take a look at some of the top stories from this week in your Cardinal Weather News Minute. 2 people are dead after a fire on Muncie's south side. Crews with the Muncie Fire Department were called to the 1600 block of West 16th Street on a report of a fire Monday night. When they arrived, they found multiple people inside the home. 2 people died at the scene, according to the department. Another was taken to the hospital. Investigators say smoking was the cause of the fire. Bridges Community Services asking for help after someone broke out the window to one of its doors on its building. Bridges has stayed open during the pandemic. However, they did close Tuesday because of weather. The group believes that could have been what led someone to do this. The group has a PayPal that you can donate to. We've got a link online at ballstatedaily.com. Finally, the Student Government Association held its second forum. This one had the presidential and vice presidential candidates. It was moderated by Newslink Indiana's Annie Keister. The only slate running, named Strive, talked about a number of topics, including the quality of life on campus. They also answered questions submitted by students. The third and final forum is Wednesday at 6 in the evening. And that's your Cardinal Weather News Minute here on this Friday morning.
Well, with all the snow outside, it makes you wonder, what is the difference between lake effect snow and the snow we saw?
Yeah, we don't like snow at all. We've made that abundantly clear this morning. We have a new face, by the way, joining us this morning. Not just Anna, but our own Jack Van Meter. He's live in the newsroom for us this morning to tell us a little more about lake effect snow. Good morning, Jack.
Morning. Today we're going to be talking about lake effect snow. I'll be breaking down the science about that. So what lake effect snow focuses on is the concept that hot air rises. We all know this in the summer when you're in a multi-story building that's not air conditioned, that the higher stories are always going to be hotter than the lower stories. That's why I love being in the basement during the summer. It is lovely. The same thing is going to be happening with lake effect snow. So we're going to have a body of unfrozen water, probably around the temperature we want to be going for is about 40 degrees then. And then what's going to happen is a cold air mass is going to move over, and as the unfrozen water evaporates up into the cold air, what it'll do, it'll condense and it'll freeze. As it moves over land there, it will dump snow onto the land in these really thin, very strong bands of lake effect snow. I'm from South Bend, Indiana. Over Christmas, we got 6 inches in 4 hours because the band set up right over us. I went to bed and it was green. I woke up, it was white. It was lovely. Lake effect snow will shut off around halfway through the winter because the lakes will freeze. Right now, Lake Michigan is still mostly unfrozen. Heck, this morning there was a nice little band set up coming off of Lake Michigan. It all has to do with the ways that the wind blows, and yeah, the direction of the wind, and obviously how cold will show you how intense those bands will be there. And then, like I said, halfway, pretty much around halfway through the winter, the lake will freeze over, and that'll shut off the lake effect snow because it will inhibit the evaporation there of the water there. So that's a little bit about lake effect snow. We really don't have to deal with it here in Muncie, Indiana. Why? There's not a lake or big body of water around us. So that's all I have today. Hopefully you learned a little something about lake effect snow.
All right, Jack, thank you so much. And, even though we didn't like the snow, I love this story here because we really saw people coming together this week to help each other out. A group in Helena, Montana now has the nickname Snow Angels. They earned it by clearing snow from the vehicles of healthcare workers. We know they've had it tough recently. The group's organizer said she got the idea from Instagram, or Insta as kids call it these days. She gathered family and neighbors to go to St. Peter's Hospital twice a day to clear off those cars. One volunteer says it is the least they can do given everything that healthcare workers are going through.
I said I can't not help out. Our healthcare workers are incredible. They're heroes, and it's the least we could do to help them out.
So that project, it started with 10 volunteers, Anna, and it has now grown to get this 40 people. That is crazy.
Yeah, it really is. It's kind of cool, though, just how one small area can impact so many people in just a small amount of time,
Absolutely.
Especially right now.
And it's the littlest things that make the biggest difference. So a huge shout out to them for doing that to, help people out and whatnot, especially in a time when they need it. Healthcare workers, we appreciate you because we know this pandemic has been rough.
Yes.
Yeah.
And are you wanting to eat more chocolate but you're not really sure what's in it? Hershey's has put a natural twist on the classic candy. The candy company is releasing its organic Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. The new treat comes in both dark and milk chocolate. Hershey says they are certified USDA organic, non-GMO project verified, and Rainforest Alliance certified. A 1.4-ounce pack will cost about $2. Hershey's also says organic milk chocolate and special dark chocolate bars are also coming this month.
I'm sticking to the unhealthy stuff, let's be real.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, we're just going to go with the regular sweet treats. So, again, really cool stuff there.
Yes.
People helping out, some good food, and, of course, the weather. Not liking the weather right now, but as you've told us, again, I'm in a good mood this morning because of Morgan. She's giving us the good news that warm weather on the way. That 7-day forecast, let's wait for the reveal, wait for it, and... How high are we going to get?
We could be reaching the 40s by Wednesday, so yes, that warmer trend in temperatures expected to impact us over the next couple of days. Best chance for precipitation looks to be this weekend, but clearing out with those warmer weather conditions on the way.
Yeah, it's going to keep ticking up. Morgan, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And that's all for Cardinal Weather this Friday morning. Thanks for joining us.
We've got your latest headlines for you on NewsLink Indiana midday at 11:30. We're back here next week. Have a great weekend.